So just at the front of the property at 234 Charlton Old Road, the valley. I imagine it's going to be exactly the same with the other side, and this is what we could see in the loft. So the valley's been cut in on a kind of banana, as you can see. There's nothing straight about it, and all this light that you can see, it's from all these fallen tiles, cracked tiles, degraded tiles. They're digging into the lead. The lead itself is heavily oxidising. A lot of these tiles are just not sat right at all. You can see how they're not sat in situ. Got some further broken ones. It's missing a ridge at the top. They've just lapped some lead over loosely, as you can see. On the front of the property, on the gable, we can see they're all sat a little bit loose. Somebody's used little bits of wire to hold in these tiles. There's been repairs over the years. We've got all missing here, degrading again on the corners, and yeah, it's kind of a bit of a shambles, the gable, to be honest. Got some tabs just holding those two in just about. As we move on to the main part of the property, you can just see from looking here the imperfections throughout. So when you zoom in, and we've got, you know, missing tile, we've got deterioration, deteriorating tiles past the serviceable life. Again, somebody's come up here and put a new tile in. Cheeky. And there's not as much degrading on the front as there is on the back, but it's still ever present. The ridges, with these ridges, are lovely. They're a feature ridge, but to be watertight, you see that gap in the middle, that needs to be filled up with mortar. Every single one needs to be filled up underneath, and from the gaps that I'm seeing, the water just must be coming straight into the roof because there's no felt underneath. That makes any sense. See, there's a little bit of mortar there. That's how it should be, but a lot prettier. But when you're looking at these, there's just huge gaps right the way through. The chimney itself, again consistent with the back, it needs grinding and pointing. This actual outer section's actually bellowing. That will need excuse me, dust from the loft. These top three courses will actually need rebuilding. Can you see how it's being pushed out there? Those bricks are being pushed, so sections of that will need rebuilding. The flashing at the front has been fixed with mortar, not with lead mate, so as lead expands and contracts, it forces the mortar out. There's some silicone used on next door. The lead's lifted there. There's a tile missing there. There's a front flashing completely missing. There's another flashing completely missing, and that one at the top is falling out. As you can see, the bellow in the roof as well. You see how it leans like this. So the actual timber itself is too high, so when we was undertaking this, we'd take down either the partition wall or the main timber that's holding it to help it sit flat so the tiles run through smoothly, if that makes any sense. Then we're coming to the gutters. The gutters are old. That gutter clip, one gutter clip's nearly off. They've just been painted, and yeah, they're not in great nick. Doesn't cost much for new plastic. I don't know why they've not done that. This little roof here over the window, this is lead that's been painted, and they've obviously got cracks here. It's been painted here. So let's just zoom back. I mean, this is old, and it's just sat on the original timbers there. I don't know if you can see that. So it's just moving as one. It's and this has just been stuck to it on the angle, you know. So if any water's getting in, it is kind of just coming out of this section. That needs redoing in lead or EPDM, fresh timber, fresh flat section. Make sure it's running nice and smooth. And all the water at the minute is going to be sitting right here. You can see how it's coming down, but it's never going to make its way back up because is kind of just sitting in this little situ area. That bracket's come off. So as the weight comes along here over time and sits more and more, it'll just sag even more so. You can see that on the video. And the lower roof itself, this section again is in need of fresh lead. The lead needs to come up the wall 3 inches and into the chase, 1.5 inches, plugged every 400 and sealed with lead mate. What they've done is sat way too low into the wall. There's not really an upstand, and you've got a crack, and it's just right the way through. So you're going to start having issues down here as well, unless this is sorted, and it'll always continue to crack with the age and the fact that I think it was originally put in one piece. So expansion contraction causes this. Any questions, give me a call anytime. The brickwork on the front as well. A lot of the brickwork on the back's in good condition, but if you look at the front, all this needs a good grind and repoint on this feature section. Okay, especially the sills, and it's consistent on all the sills. Cheers.